Hey, it's Anna. I used to be the faithful dove. I told you guys what happened there, that double authentication, and I don't have my current phone number listed there, and I can't get a hold of them. So if you're just tuning in, everything has been changed to ESGU, Emotional Support Group Unlimited. We do have an actual support group for people who need to vent, talk. It's fairly new. The reason I put it up is because I discovered that I was in a support group and I discovered there are hundreds of them. My group alone had 13,000. And what a great way to support each other. And I'll be there to give you advice and everything like that. So there you go. It's also in the description. Please like, share, and follow. Help me to build this page. I appreciate it. And the group, I'm on Yahoo. I'm on my Facebook page. I'm streaming from my personal page. Why do I keep saying Yahoo? YouTube. Okay. So let's get down to business here. Tonight we're going to be talking about ask the counselor, how do you spot, handle, and get rid of toxic people? Well, I'm going to share that with you. First, I wanted to welcome everybody who has posted this or tunes in. Please like, subscribe, and share. Okay. You'll have a chance at the end to submit your questions and get them answered. If I don't answer all of them tonight, I will answer them first thing in the next live, which is next Sunday. Okay. And I'm going to timestamp these within 24 hours for Yahoo. That'll be on in the comments for Yahoo. Why? Is there something I was supposed to do on Yahoo? For Facebook, that'll be in the comments. For YouTube, that will be in the main description area of the post. Again, these links can be found down below. Okay. You are welcome to submit, actually, not just questions, but topics that you would like to talk about. Emotional, love, life, relationships, career choices, marriage, parenting, all that kind of stuff. There are also other messages down below on the YouTube channel. That's another reason for you to subscribe. We do not charge for the free lives, but keep in mind everything you post is going to be public. So I appreciate that. Let me see, one person is already here. Oh, he's just being silly. All right, let's get started here. So, a little bit about me. I've been a pastoral counselor and I've helped in navigating I don't know what my problem is today, navigating clients for over 20 years through the waters and waves of life. I've also had a lot of experiences where I can contribute. And welcome in Mittens, because he wants to be held and he does not take no for an answer. But first and foremost, it's crucial to recognize the signs of toxic people and situations. I'm noticing on my support groups that people are asking, is this toxic? So we're going to go over that today. They may come in the form of constant negativity, manipulation, and lack of support. They can also manifest in situations that leaving you drained, anxious, or unhappy. They constantly criticize you, gaslight you, and often treat you poorly. It can lead to extreme toxicity, which is verbal and physical abuse. Mittens, you've got to chill out. Toxic people often make excuses, deflect, blame, accuse, and distract to keep you confused, drained, and totally not yourself. Once you identify these red flags, it's important to take action. Now, everybody keeps asking what deflection is. Deflection in this case is the overreaction emotionally to try to distract and avoid responsibility to silence the situation you're concerned about. It can range from excuses, blaming, yelling, name calling, and emotional outbursts. Deflection can be or lead to rage and physical violence when extreme, so be careful. If your request doesn't match their response, it's deflection. If you find yourself asking, "What was that about? What just happened?" or saying, "I don't get it, I don't understand." If you're also asking yourself, "Gee, I wonder if there's anything I can do to make it better," help them understand. That is all toxic. That means you didn't do anything, because if a real person makes you question reality, what you saw or know happened, you you were there. Real people are going to tell you what you did wrong, and you're going to know it. Toxic people tend to not. It tends to never make any sense. Please get away from them. Handling toxic people and situations can definitely be challenging, but it's important to set the boundaries and communicate clearly. Don't be afraid to distance yourself from these individuals and situations if they're causing you harm in any way. This leads just getting on your nerves. Remember, your mental and emotional well being is important. Finally, the most important step, ridding yourself of toxic people and situations. This may involve cutting ties with those people, seeking professional help, or removing yourself from unhealthy environments. It's not going to be easy, but it's necessary for your overall happiness and well being. But what do you do when you work with someone that's, or a group of people that's individual? Well, one of our listeners actually gave some great advice of how he handles it. You have to set boundaries. If someone constantly complains or gossips to you, you just tell them straight up. But Buddy says, come straight. This is coming straight from Buddy, one of our listeners. He says to them, you cut them off and you say, I'm not engaging or entertaining this conversation. It's never too late to stop the madness. So only focus on work with these people. Do not hang out at the water cooler after work or personally. Have you ever been in a toxic situation? Stop, Mins. How did you handle it? Maybe you have a different way. Jeez, get down. Needy. Well, let's all make a conscious effort to surround ourselves with positivity. And, Buddy does go on to say that social media is often toxic. You have to, with negative information, you have to limit yourself. I mean, you can hide those posts and not look at them. But if you want to discuss this further and get some free support, you can just subscribe to our group in our page. It's also listed. The group is where you can get support and get for other people. I would appreciate if y'all pass it along. Now, let's talk about de-stressing. There's a book that I'm going to be posting up here on the screen. You can get a copy of this ebook by joining the Facebook group and then clicking files and downloading it. Before we get started here, there are 2 bonus ways to de-stress. And these are they're kind of funny. The one a long time ago, and I had forgotten about this, but according to doctors and scientists, if you lift your head up and go, your brain has to concentrate on keeping your head lifted up and your voice at the same time. It's distracting. So there's all this. There's another way too. It's called the muscle squish. That's what I'm calling it anyway, because I'm creative. Okay, you start down at your toes and you concentrate and you squish. This is good for restless leg syndrome too. And you squish your muscles and your brain concentrate down there, flow up your leg, squish, 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 all the way up to your neck, all the way into your head. There. I also have a meditative video I'm going to be posting with relaxation. It's 15 minutes. It's nothing. It's just visualization, and I make the suggestion in there that really works, so that when you're out somewhere, you're at work, you're stressed or whatever, you can just say relax, 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 and your whole body will relax. That one is a game changer. So let me see if I can get this up here I don't even know if I can put PDFs up, but let's just see. You might have to do a whole window thing. Let me open it first. It's on the desktop. You guys, I forgot how you're supposed to be able to press one button and get to the desktop, but I have no ideas how to do it anymore. Okay. Well, here we go. There we go. Alrighty then. But I also want to go back a little bit because I want to read something to you. It's a user, but I don't want to post that yet for the toxic relationships. Basically, these two are going back and forth. She's calling him out because she has a daughter that with autism who is sensitive to loud noises. And when he gets upset, he's not just a loud talker. When he gets upset, he's actually scaring the little girl. So she says, could you please use your regular voice? Your regular voice is nice and quiet and smooth. And he says, I'm not yelling. That's just the way my voice is. And she says, I know tone and I know energy. That's for sure. Well, apparently you don't know my tone because I was talking the same volume. This is a bunch of deflection on his part. Okay. It just goes on and on like that. He's making excuses because he doesn't want to change. So, and when it comes to her daughter, yes, important. If he can't do that, she's dating him and he can't do that for the child at least, then he doesn't belong in her life at all. So let's switch over. People have, I like animals because animals are black and white. You're either good or bad. There are no details in between. With people, we always thinking about why they might be that way, how we could help them. And the truth is, you simply you don't. If they're being a butthead, they got to go. If they're a butthead on a constant basis. But I'm going to switch over to this one. This is the book here. I did figure out how to do it. Okay. All right, there we go. It's called Doing What Matters in Times of Stress. This is over on our site. If you click let's see the groups. Let me see. I don't know if I can put that up there, not over this. There we go. And it's in the description area. The difference between the pages and the group for Facebook is it has groups in the middle. But it's there in the file section, and I've pinned it for you. It's free. You can download it. I got it given to me by a counselor, and it is the most hilarious, most wonderful, easy to read cartoon book ever. But let's just take a little bit of a look at it. Okay. Of course, you got to go down here about 1,000 pages. And I did try these techniques. They work. It says if you're experiencing stress, you're not alone. Right now, there are many other people in your community all around the world who are struggling with stress. We help you learn practical skills for dealing with stress. You will see us throughout this book as we teach the skills you need. Enjoy the journey of learning how to do what matters in times of stress. Basically, when you're reacting in an emotional way or you're stressed out, you have gone off the path from your morals and values. This helps to bring you back from the trouble to the present. My thing is I've developed my own. If y'all notice me going like this, but back to reality, back to the present. Yeah, because I have a habit of getting absorbed in my stress. Okay, this is called grounding, the first topic. I'm just going to go over a little bit of it. You see how easy it is. Look, stress means feeling troubled or threatened by life. One man did something really bad to me. Family violence, illness, no school, displaced from your home. There's a whole bunch of different arguments and reasons why you would be distressed. Everyone experiences stress at times. A little bit of stress is no problem. But Very high stress often affects the body. Many people get unpleasant feeling like headaches, not feeling hungry, lump in your throat, neck, and shoulder, back pain, upset stomach, heavy chest, tight muscles. We get other people like break out in hives and have says illnesses or bowel problems. So when they're stressed, you can't focus, you're irritated, you can't sit still, you might have difficulty sleeping, worry, cry, changes in your appetite. And many of us think about bad things from the past or bad things we fear. Some of us have dreams about bad things that have happened in the past, and that kind of opens the stress is like the door to Pandora's box. Even though they're natural part of stress, problems can occur when we get hooked on them. So what is a hook? A hook is anything that is emotional, that is tempting, that you obsess on, that these are all can be separate things. You know, it can be really anything. Hooks can be really anything, good or bad. Like you say you had a wonderful first 6 months with the person that you broke up with, and you start to think about those wonderful 6 months. You start to miss those times. You want to go back. It tempts you to go back into a situation that's toxic, basically. And the stress comes on and these hooks so fast. It's like one time you are playing with your children and the next moment you're difficult. One time you're having a conversation with somebody, or you're listening to something at work and you find yourself distracted into your stress. Well, that's what this book shows you. It shows you how to ground yourself and then come back from it. So these difficult feelings hook us and pull us away from values. Values are your deepest desire for the sort of person you want to be. Okay. So they have activities coming up here. But look at this. It's so easy. You might give up, think it's too hard. You might stop doing things that you love. It completely drains you. Even worrying about someone is a hook. You know, they're grown up, say they left, your children grow up, they left the house and they're not speaking to you, and you get so obsessed and worried about it because they're not answering you that you'd literally have trouble functioning on anything else. We all have our different ways of dealing with stress. And some ways are healthy and some ways are not. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Gracious my. And this person, I think, spelled practice wrong, unless this was made in another country. And it's sad that I noticed that. Okay. This one's kind of cool. Okay. How can we learn to de-stress? You can come back to the present. There are many ways to practice engaging in life, focusing on what you're doing. You practice the skills with any activity you do. Like if you're having a cup of coffee or tea, focus your full attention on it. You notice the drink, with curiosity, as if you never encountered such a drink before. You smell the flavor of it. You sip it slowly, kind of like a fine wine. You let it sit on your tongue, feel it on your teeth, savor it. Just really, really get into it instead of just drinking it like I do. You drink it as slowly as possibly, savoring, and notice everything about it. The taste, the temperature, the color, how you swallow, what it feels like on your tongue. You get it. And whenever you get hooked by thoughts and feelings of stress, you have the drink in your hand, you refocus. That's a nice bottle. Oh my God, Diet Peach tea from Lipton is so heaven. This one's warm, but I still like it. There's a nice taste to it, and it does sort of taste a little bit like peaches. Noticing the color of it it's not a real rich tea. See how I did that? Like you'll be like a wine connoisseur. You ever seen them on TV? Like you're that this is just an exercise that brings you back to reality. You don't have to actually use a drink, just whatever you're doing. Say you're talking to your family and your friends, and you talk to them, you notice what they're saying, you make eye contact, you notice the tone of their voice, their facial expression. Truly give them your full attention. I'm sorry, Mittens. Mittens demands my full attention. You you could practice this while you're playing a game or doing some other activities too, like teaching your kids to read. You give them the full attention, engage with them. It doesn't matter what you're doing, just notice it, notice what it looks like, how it feels, how it tastes. And then whenever you get hooked, we unhook by refocusing and engaging in what we are doing. Okay. So I was drinking and I got distracted because a thought came in my head. And I sit here. Oh, look, there's like even little peach slices on the bottle. I really love the design of this bottle. Mmm, like a fine wine. It's got a little bit of tart taste when it's hot. I wouldn't have this as actual hot tea, room temperature. It's really good when it's cold. And I'm pretty sure there's no real peaches in there, but I'm in love with this. And then the bottle also reminds you to recycle. See? Now I'm back. Okay. So, what were you doing at the time that you slipped away in a stressful thought? And it could be, say, you're like working on something, you're fixing something, and something happens, like it doesn't come out the way you want it to, or you're distracted by, I don't know, the kids yelling or whatever. Then you're like, just look at it and be like, oh, well, I'm going to go back to fixing that door. You know, I'll try again, try again. And then start thinking about what you need, what might make it easier to do your activity that you're doing. Said, okay, I can do that if my thoughts and feelings are not too difficult, but sometimes my feelings and stories are just so painful. Yep, they can be overpowering. They're emotional storms. This is good. Remember what I guys told you? I told you about being positive and that how hard it is. Like if someone writes one bad review, it takes 7 to 11 good reviews for people to actually believe it's a good product. It shouldn't be that way. You know, it should be the overall positive of it. But emotional storms means that you experience intensely difficult feelings and thoughts. They're so strong that they just take over. Like when I get obsessed about certain people who hurt me, um, people notice that, but they've never figured out how to get me to stop doing it. And my counselor rocks because she told me that. She even reminded me. Um, okay, the story is that, you know, the abuser contacted me and he basically told me he has a dog now. Okay. Well, that's great. He didn't mention Bunny. And then um, he told me he has some new cats too. Didn't mention Bunny. He asked me if he could call me on the phone, and I said no. I said I will not be talking to you on the phone. All I do is work and sleep and, you know, and heal. Well, then 3 days went by and it drove me insane. I wanted to know what happened to Bunny the cat, the beautiful calico cat, the awesome sweet cat, my baby. Animals are my thing. I had to know. So I texted him, what about Bunny? Oh, she's fine. But he did that, and they're so good at it. He did that so that I would contact him again. And she says, here's what she said for toxic people. She said, for toxic people like that, she said, if you feel that there's something wrong with their animal, then you call pet welfare. If you feel that they're having a problem, you call people welfare. But it's not my responsibility. And she said, stop contacting him because it's a hook to get you to contact him. So, but I had to bring myself back from that because, like, I have so many questions. Like, the first question is, you didn't take care of Bunny the proper way. You said he got an automatic litter box now, but why would you go get two more cats and a dog when I was there? You couldn't even get up out of the chair. You claimed that you were hurting so bad and I was your slave 24/7, but yet you could get up to get beer. See what I'm doing? Here's what I'm doing. Back to the present. Back to the present. There. I'm talking to you guys. Whew. Um, so imagine you're in a high tree when the storm begins. Would you want to stay in that tree while you're in great danger? You need to get down as quickly as possible. On the ground, you're much safer. Holy crap. Not really if you're by that tree, but back to the present. And on the ground, you can help others. For example, you could comfort others in the storm. If there's somewhere safe for you to hide, you can get there. So we need to ground ourselves when emotional storms happen. But how? Again, through engaging with the world around you and focusing on what you're doing. So, in other words, when you're having those storms, instead of focusing on the stress in yourself, um, focus on what were you doing before that, or find something to do. Go help someone else. Go talk in a conversation. Go, join a support group. Go look up jokes, whatever. But bring yourself back to the moment. The first step, you got to notice how you're feeling and what you're thinking. Then slow down and connect with your body. This is a breathing technique you can do. Slow breathing. Empty your lungs completely. Then let them refill as slowly as possible. Oh, you guys, in a little story. When I was in the hospital getting my appendix out, when they had that thing in my arm, they told me not to move because it would, I don't know why their IV machine, they need to get a thicker tubing, but it kept going off, right? I don't know if I developed a fear of being trapped or whatever, but I had to go to the emergency room. Turns out I had double ear infection. They didn't find out till later. But they gave me this migraine cocktail and they had it in there. And I started feeling really, really, really freaked out, like I was trapped. And I've never felt that way before. And I was like, I got to get this thing off. I got to get this thing off. So the girl comes in. She comes in about 10 minutes too early. It was still running. And then she didn't get there. It was 15 minutes after the IV was done. And I was like on 1% on my phone. I called the operator and nobody answered. And I couldn't find the nurse button. And finally, 30 minutes come by. I went ahead and I took that off. You don't want to rip the IV out because that's not good. You'll bleed. But but what I did was I took the thing off. As soon as it was done, I took all the monitoring thing off. I finally found it was behind the bed, and I reached down and I got it and I pressed that nurse button and I'm like, man, oh, I said, she came in and I said, I got to get out of here. I got stuff to do. But really, my heart was racing and everything. And at that point, I tried really hard, but there's nothing to do. There's nothing to do in a room, in a hospital room. This was in the ER, so there was no TV, nothing, and my phone was dead. Okay, but here's another thing. You sit in a chair or stand on the floor and slowly press your feet in the floor. Slowly do your exercises like this. Stretch your arms and slowly press your hands together. Refocus on the world around you. Notice where you are. What are 5 things you can see at that moment? I see my Lipton. I see my tissue box. I see my cat looking out the window. I see a bunch of pictures. I see the Venetian blind. It's old metal blind. Okay, breathe in the air. What can you smell? Ooh, I don't smell anything. What are some things you can hear? Like, use your senses. What are 5 things you can hear? This says 3 or 4. I hear the TV. I hear the ringing in my ears, which I actually don't mind. That's weird. I'll tell you a story later. I hear cars driving by outside. I hear my my headphone wire. You get the point. Use all your senses to bring yourself back. Notice where you are. What were you doing when this happened? Well, I was talking to you, so now I can refocus. When you touch your knees to the the surface beneath you, or any object you can reach, notice what it feels like under your fingers. Oh, that does. Ugh, that brings you back. So use all your five senses: sight, hearing, smell, touch, and taste. Now you come back and you're ready to focus. But I'm not going to do this whole thing because I want you guys to do it too. But I've given you a couple of them, and I am up to page 50 something of this book, and maybe we'll go over it next week. That is all I'm going to do for that. And let's see. Here's something I'm sure that I don't know if you can. Files, extra comments, slides. They changed this around a little bit. Video file. Where are the pictures that you put up? I don't have slides. Oh, I know how. Go in here to banners. Components. There is a cute little joke I'm trying to get you. It's a cute little joke. Banners. Oh, I think it needs to be under branding. Well, anyway, there we go. Overlay, loop, background. Okay, here we go. Let me add this and see. I like this joke on here. Desktop. Lives. Oh, I don't know where I downloaded it to. Well, I gotta get more. My computer has so much stuff on it. Hey, are any of you guys IT? Because my computer keeps having a video screen error every now and then. Oh, I know. It might be on Facebook still. I might not have downloaded it yet. See, I just got diagnosed with adult ADHD, and I know I had it as a cat. I know I had it as a kid, but I was noticing when I think back that I never really was better per se. So, because I would do things like things like 10 things at a time, and then I'd be like spinning in circles. I'd get them all done though. So now I'm on this ADHD medicine, and it's bringing me to it's called hyper focus. Like I can hyper focus on one thing, and that's about it. I have to write lists for everything else. So while I couldn't focus on anything before, now I can hyper focus on one thing at a time. Here we go. You're gonna love this. I'm gonna share my screen with you in a minute. You're gonna love this joke. It's probably how everybody feels right now. And then we're going to get to some questions that have been asked. Okay. So yeah, I'm only on my 9th day of medicine. I have no idea why I did that. I'm only on my 9th day I'm on Adderall, 10 milligrams. I don't know. They might have to up it. There we go. Now, switch, present. Don't worry, I'll get better at that. I haven't done this in a while because, I was with that abuser and he always thought that I was cheating. Okay, here we go. he practically ruined my business. My clients told me they would not come back to me. There we go. I think I've got it. It says, if I have to go through any more character development, my character is going to develop into a villain. That's how I feel, because there's been so much stress in my life. And 2016, the next door neighbor, drug addict, we had a duplex and he was on the other side. He burned down our house, killed 2 of our pets. 2017, my car got split in half by ice and I hit a cliff wall. 2020, the love of my life, Rick, died, and it's been April 26th. It's been 4 years and it's still difficult. Then the abuser in 2022. And I just want to tell you guys, don't go on dates with anybody in their car. But also, this guy I called for help, and the police told me I needed an appointment twice. And come to find out, when they pull somebody's name, it doesn't bring up restraining orders. He had 3 restraining orders in North Carolina for doing the same thing, except for 2 of them were girls who told him that they didn't want to go out with him online, and he truth findered and he found them and went to their house. So it's real serious out there. And this guy's from West Virginia, so to just be really careful. I mean, because of the police, I spent a year there, and I called them within the first month, and they told me that twice. And recently I called because I've been able to get in support groups. I'm finally getting counseling because there were waiting lists. And that's why I'm here for you guys, because millions of people are on waiting lists. And if you join my group and you can help each other, and then I'm there, I can help you out a little bit. But if you need one-on-one, it's $20 an hour. But just remember, everything you post is public. So, and then at nighttime, my doctor gave me some, it's hydroxyzine. Basically, it's like a version of Benadryl to help me sleep, because I have racing thoughts. And, I'm only going to my 4th appointment this week, guys. But this and other stresses that pile on you, that you do not reach out, that you just, because I used to just shove everything down. And because I'm like, I got to keep going. I got to pay my bills. And then one day, somebody added a little more stress. I was already full and to the top of my cup, and it went over. It went over. It was all just too much. That's why you have to reach out, even when you think you're strong enough. And if you have to match somebody's energy, and you're not getting enough attention, or they say things and do things, and you say, I'm just going to match their energy. Number one, that other person never gets it because they're toxic. And number 2, there's nothing you can do to help them. As a matter of fact, narcissists, one of the biggest toxic communities in the world, there is no cure for them. Okay. So they don't see themselves as doing anything wrong. Even when they say to you, oh, mine cried crocodile tears and all, I'm going to change. I'm going to go to rehab. Don't leave, blah, 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 blah. And then never did any of it. And would send me, after I left, 50 emails, 2 minutes apart from each other for a whole month. This man would send me, some of them, I have 50 of them. I don't know how many actually sent, because that's all I found. If you have a free email address, and sometimes paid ones, if you block somebody, it just puts the stuff in the spam folder. And one day I was in there thinking, they weren't even letting it go to it. It popped through like spam always does. And I sat there and I read them. 2 minutes from each other. One was, I love you, baby. Come back. I want you to be Miss Waldron. The second one was, you fucking twat. You won't be able to get anybody for anything but sex, and you're not getting your shit back, and you can go to hell, and I'll fucking find you. And then I was getting calls. You just don't know. You just calls and threats. And I tried to get 2 restraining orders on him. He didn't answer the door, so I got away with that. And I asked him, I said, why don't you make him take the restraining orders? Well, he has rights. And we can only knock on the door and give him a call to come pick him up. And if he doesn't, well, then the restraining order won't help. Well, sorry, my nose is just that one day that I asked her that question too. She said, the police officer, she said to me, this was after the fact, I'm sorry that the restraining orders didn't get delivered, but not only are they ineffective because it wasn't delivered, but they're ineffective anyway. So he could have still, your person was still going to do that, still going to bother you. So I had to move hours and hours away to get away from him because he was showing up at my house. Just don't do it. And if they offer, if you have a good date and they offer you to go back to their house and watch a movie or whatever, nope. So, but when they pull their name up, if you call the police and they pull their name up, only real crimes. What the fuck is kidnapping? So the system needs to be changed. I'm hearing the same stories, thousands and thousands of women on the support group saying the same thing. The police did not help. Someone said they think that police need to be retrained to deal with this, but it's not just here. It's all over. There's only been a couple stories where police have helped them. Okay, like it's crazy. So just don't get it's up to us. It's up to us as a public to not get ourselves in that situation in the first place if we can help it. But in my situation, he would have done like he did the other girls and True Finder my address and find me anyway. So I still would have had that problem. But so I'm going to see. It's almost time. Let's see if we got some questions here. Okay. Questions. All right. But this ebook again is down in my group in the file section. I think I also have it posted to the featured part of the page. I'm going to pull up some questions that I got. Give me just a second. I'll get better as we do this. Boop, boop, boop. So, just if you have a question, just remember if you post it here as public, or you can send it to me privately. If you're on YouTube, I recommend going to my page and sending me my Facebook page and sending it via Messenger, because that is the better way to do it. Okay. Okay. Is it okay to have sex with a guy right away? Or a girl for that matter. I mean, both sides have problems. I'm not just dogging on guys. Don't get me that. But when I say guy, that's my experience or the user's experience. As a person, I'm going to be open with you. I really like sex. But the experience of me having sex with someone before getting a ring on my finger has been that, and if you look it up scientifically and emotionally, men are very physical creatures, women are very emotional creatures. So when you do have sex too soon, the man's mind can't. He'll say he can, but there's never been one person who did that I know of. If you know of someone who got married and's been happily married 20 years and they had sex right away, please let me know who that was. But it's very rare. Most men, they think physically. So if you have sex with them too soon, it's like their mind transitions into that, and that's all they can think about, and they miss a lot of the steps of the relationship which need to happen. 2, the women are emotional, so it can feel, and these doing the D can give you certain feelings, and they're called false positive love feelings. So it's in my experience that you should definitely make the guy wait you should wait, which is very, very hard. And as another girl commented in my group, just buy a toy for now. Oh my goodness. And I think they're like $20 or $25 at Walmart. But in my Walmart where I used to live, they put them in a locked case because people were stealing them. Now, I don't know how about you, but how many of you are going to be brave enough to go to somebody and go, yeah, I'd like to buy a dildo? I'm sorry, I got allergies. Not me. I'm not going to do it. Forget about it. And plus, like, when they did have them out, they had them out in the vitamins section, like diagonally across from it. So, like, kids are getting vitamins, parents, all these guys are walking through, and that's always a busy section. So, I don't want to be the reason someone has to explain to their child what that pretty purple thing she bought is. Anyway, so no. If you can, hold off. Here's what is important. Whether you do or you don't, in your dating profile, you should always, this gets rid of most of your problems with guys just wanting to get some, but you do get some challengers. Say, no hookups. I do not have sex until I'm married. Even if you don't mean it. Because they're going to be like, I ain't waiting that long. And those are the people that you don't want in your life, okay? You want the guy that's going to say, you know what? She seems pretty cool. I'm going to respect her. I'm going to wait. You want the guy that has self-control. But then, obviously, when you finally do it, you want him to have all this love, this passion. Yeah. So, no, don't do it. What else? What's another question we got? Why is my nose itching? Say some, I don't know, ears, those old wives' tale. And more. There. Their boyfriend, the next one is the boyfriend cheated on them and they want to know, it's been a year. They don't think they've cheated anymore, but they just can't get over it. They can't rebuild that trust. I'm going to tell you that you have to let go. Because if there's a trust issue, you know, for me, I could never, ever continue. You know, when I'm cheated on, that's it. I'm done. It breaks my heart. We're talking about people who have been together for 3 years and it's been a year and a half, 2 years, and she still can't forgive him. Now, if he hasn't cheated, there's some things that even in the Bible say are deal breakers, and adultery is one of them. So, no, absolutely not. Okay. Another user says they've been single their entire life and have a huge problem with losing interest after dating for a few months. Seems like once they lock this person down, they themselves will start pulling away. Now she's dating a beautiful, a great person, very generous and sweet, and wants to know how she can not pull away. Well, it's really not easy to answer this question because I don't know her full history. Here's what I can tell her, though. There are quite a few people who have problems committing and getting past the first 3 or 4 months, which is usually that high dopamine level, like you're excited about it. Everybody's behaving themselves, everybody's on their best behavior, and people tend to fall in love at that time. And that is not a good time to fall in love because that's not the real person. Okay. Even as much as you try, you will not see red flags or you'll ignore them, think that some people, I have in the back of my mind and think that they're no big deal, or you'll think that the person will change or something. But it's, nothing needs to be major to set you off. But without knowing this person's history, she would need to, I recommend her going into counseling and working through to discover what the reason is. There's also another way, counseling ultimately, because she's going to need talk therapy. There's also another way I want to show you though. Okay. We got just enough time here. This question, oh my gosh. 2 questions that will help you get to your core issue. But please know, when I did this, I had to actually deal with what I found out. Watch this. I'm going to share with you. It's one on my YouTube channel if you want to see it again. How to get to the core issue, your core issue in 2 questions. Okay. I'm just going to let you, hopefully you can hear it. Okay, there.
Hey, this is Anna from the Faithful Dove Tarot. Thank
That
you
was
for
older.
being here with me today. Take a moment, please like, subscribe, and share. The more activity I get on the videos, the higher up in the search. And when people are searching for information, it will appear to them. Okay, today we're going to be talking about core issues. I got these oracle cards called the blind spot, and they have numbers on them and correspond in the book and tell you things that might be hidden to you, which, yeah, I did for myself. And it made me realize a lot of stuff. So they are very accurate. It opened my eyes. But one in particular that I liked was number 51. And number 51 is about core issues. Okay. And I named it Area 51 because we don't really know what goes on in there. We know what we hear. We see things on the surface, blah, blah, blah. Okay, you have your surface issues bubbling at the top. You have your core issues, which are the cause. And until you solve the core issues, you're going to have, just like bubbles coming up, you're going to keep having surface issues and your problem will not be resolved. I'm going to show you how to get to your core issue in just 2 questions. And you want to pause and write these down. Why would that be a bad thing? And question number 2 is, what would it mean?
There you go, write that there. Why would that be a bad thing? And what would it mean? Just you're going to draw a line in paper and you're going to write these questions, one on the left and one on the right. You will not believe how accurate this shit is. Excuse my language. Here we go.
If that were true. I'm going to give you an example here. You pick a situation or something that's an issue. Okay, I'm going to use for me, I have a fear of meeting new people. Why would meeting new people be a bad thing? So you're customizing it to your situation. Why would meeting new people be a bad thing? Because I'm afraid of them being fake. What would it mean if people were fake? It would mean they're not real friends. Why would them not being real friends be a bad thing? Because then I would get hurt? Duh. What would it mean if they hurt you? It would mean I could not trust myself to pick good people. Bam. Core issue. Since people have hurt me deeply in the past, I do not trust myself to pick good people. And then I go on to add self-worth needed. Find patterns that lead to why I am meeting bad people. You can use the love video for that. It's timestamped to show you how to get your patterns. I think it's in Prevent Bad Relationships or Prevent Bad Dates. Can't remember which folder. Set and enforce boundaries and limits. Watch for red flags. This is a big one. Having no expectations with new people. Do not give of myself until they prove themselves. And there you have it, folks. That, my friends, is how you find your core issue in 2 questions.
All right. I'm serious. It's in the videos. It's in the video section of YouTube. My YouTube channel. My YouTube channel should be down in the description box. If it's not, that's my page. Hold on. See, part of the reason there you go. See that free support group. See, it has facebook.com/groups in it. This is just my regular Facebook page. You can also join that too. Wow. Okay. So we only have a couple minutes left here. I'm just going to go over the dopamine effect. What happens the first 4 or 5 months of your relationship? It could be longer if you are having depends upon the person. Well, you feel that cloud 9 feeling, and that's not real love. Okay, that is the dopamine level in your head raised because you met somebody new. It's exciting. And just a reminder, us women do this a lot, is we meet some guy or we've been dating for a while, some of us right away, and we kind of start thinking, ooh, he seems nice, what can I, oh, is he this material? Is that material? Start thinking about the future. Okay, don't do that. That's romanticizing, and if you, it sets them up like to be on a pedestal, and then they show their real person, and it may not be bad, but it's not what's it you romanticized in your head. So you have to let things happen naturally, and what we're gonna do is so for the first, so I would say for the first 6 to 8 months, even if you think you're in love with them, have no expectations whatsoever. Um, like I said, don't tell them I'm sorry I'm not sleeping with you until I know it's serious, and they'll tell you it's serious. Don't believe their words, believe their actions. Like my dad used to say, make them put a ring on your finger, but you should be married first because it's a sin. Anyway, I do have a friend who did that. We were at the club one night, and this guy kept dancing with all of us, and he told us at the end of the night that he really liked her. And so he took us all out to breakfast, and we told her what he said, and she said, "Oh, I liked him too." She was 26 years old. Okay. So she wanted to go back over there and see if he was awake to his house, and we dropped him off, and he was, and she told him she liked him too, and she did not have sex at all until they got married. She was a virgin. Not that she didn't do oral sex throughout her life, but she wouldn't just do it with anybody. But guess what? 26 years and 2 kids later, happily married, because she kept by making him earn it, by making him. This is your body, ladies. You don't just give it away freely. Don't be like me in my first half of my life and look where I'm sitting. You know, I had a recent breakup and lots of trouble, and I got to start over again at 52. So don't be like me. Don't give it away. And that's what I intend to do. I intend to try to not give it away, until I'm sure the next person is, you know, and that's going to take some serious proving. A ring is going to have to be on my finger or something, you know, something that guys would never do with unserious people, with people they think they're just dating or trying to get some from. Because nowadays you cannot trust somebody's genuine actions. You guys want some fun? You'll go look in Slime Balls 101 video, find that. It'll tell you about it, almost every bad date I ever have, and you'll be shocked at the things that these people will say, they'll do, and that have been targeted. And oh, duckies are outside, and you'll just geese, I think it is. Well, you'll be surprised. Your mouth will be dropping. You'll be thinking, what is wrong with you? Why would you even pick a guy like that? Because I based on genuine action. One of the stories is that there was this military man that I dated. He went to my dad, asked for my hand in marriage. He was married. That's why. And when you say, if you do believe or you don't believe in the Bible, the answers to every story's life is there. It's in the Bible. They had those situations. But that's why God says, don't give it up until they marry you. That's why. Because you don't want to be like me. And then, of course, once the hormones are raging, I lost my virginity way too early. Once the hormones are raging, they don't shut up. You can't get them to shut up. So make better choices. And one of the big ones is make them wait. buy a toy, make these people wait. They may be cute, they may be hot, you may be feeling the connection, but even people who have deep connections together, their human will can mess it up. And I truly, honestly believe, and I've read this about guys, and scientifically proven that one of their love languages is sex. However, they are physically driven. So if you give that too soon, they don't they have a problem thinking about anything but that and working on anything but that within the relationship. Plus, that way you're not devastated if it doesn't work out. Well, you can say, at least I didn't give my body. So, anyway, I got 9 o'clock and I've got to go. Please like, subscribe, and share, and I will see you next Sunday. Next Sunday, we will be talking about the burned haystack dating method, the wait and scan. We will get to some more questions that have been submitted, and we'll share and learn together. So, thank you. Bye.